What's up, people? Good morning. Oh, should have tested your voice before you went live, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we doing today? What is going on, everybody? Turn that music down. Go into the comments section. We have MP in the morning. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. What is up? And Mr. Profit up bright and early, ready to take on the day before the kids, get that coffee in, get that walk in, get that workout in. Good for you, sirs. Bunch of legends right here, dude. Um, yeah, I can't sleep in. Uh, Not cool. It just is what it is. I mean, it is. It's I prefer to be awake in the morning. I'm refreshed. I like my brain just wakes up and I jump out of bed. Um, and I'm ready to go. I texted the guys, see if anyone was up. I'm taking it that Jason is sleeping in because he didn't respond, and Ryan is busy for work. So the invitation's in the chat. Yeah, MP, if you could hop on, that'd be cool. Love to talk to you again. Um, but yeah, we're here. We're hanging out. So I did sleep in a little bit. I got to my second alarm, my 30 minutes pre-show alarm, like my it's called my daily dad's alarm. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come down here. So I just start setting up the old podcast studio here in the garage. And the whole time I heard this weird, like hissing sound. And I honestly just thought it was I knew it was coming from my water heater recirc pump. Um, there's another leak, folks. Basically, like I don't have words for the mystery. There's just another leak in my water heater. So if any of you know from, I don't know, it was a couple months ago, we had a leak. Um, we had to shut it down, the hot water, because there's no bypass, and I got it fixed, but it was fixed in more of like a handyman, quick plumber way versus a Dominic's a general contractor way. Um, but thankfully, I did not that last time. Thankfully, I did do it the cheaper way and not pull the water heater, replace the water heater, redo all the drywall and everything like that. So the drywall's still all torn out and ready to be ventilated. So no big deal, really. I'll handle it. But yeah, it's a fun little thing to walk over there as you're trying to set up and like your read and journal thing and getting ready to go live. And then you really notice, oops, sorry about that. You really notice what's going on is life's way of saying happy Saturday, sir. Let's start the new year off with a little bit more money coming out the old pocket. I know we bled you dry for the holidays, but let's just give you a little bit more. Let's just toss a little bit more on you. So yeah, that was a fun one. Uh I'm I'm sure I'm sure that'll be enjoyment. I'll hit up the guy.
Good morning.
Look at that studio. Can't hear you yet.
Oh no.
I hear your hands.
Huh?
There you are.
Okay.
I didn't hear you speak, but then I heard your when you were trying to move the mic.
Yeah, I had it turned down. I didn't realize.
Gotcha. What's up, dude?
I need more coffee. Clearly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that caption fits right.
Was that like a caption from the last time you were in a studio like this? You don't use this studio for your show, right? So that would have been the last time you were here.
Yeah, no, I don't use. I for some reason StreamYard usually kicks me out, so I don't really use it.
Oh, okay. What do you guys use?
I used my brother and a
Oh, you're
bunch
on
of
Blade.
people did the Blaze stream,
Gotcha.
so I use
Oh,
that, and then it's just I can back end it to Twitch and to X and everything.
yeah. Gotcha. Did you hear my spiel about today, about what happened to me today just before the show?
As I was logging on, I started to hear that you were hearing hissing, so I was trying to determine myself if it was electrical or if it was an animal.
I got another leak in my water heater recirc line.
Oh, that's fun.
So I don't know if you were, I'm sure you were around back when that happened to me originally, but like it's one of those things where like it's all old piping, right? So it's
Hmm.
all gonna leak from this point forward. Like it's just like a roll of a dice. Um, and so essentially, like a couple months ago or whenever it was, like two 90s in this little like recirc tree leaked. And then, I had asked the guy, I said, cut it out and replace the whole thing. Like everything that you see that's exposed, replace it all. And he just replaced the two 90s. And so now today, one of the other 90s is leaking. Like to me it's obvious, but like to other people it's not as obvious. It's like they're all the parts were done at the same time. They've all been running the same water through them. They were all made in the same cheap factory in China somewhere probably.
But they're not going to all
And
fail at the same time. It's going to be one, then 2 weeks, then another one, then a month.
yeah. So
That's home ownership, right? Yeah, no, ours, our our
it's home
other house was.
ownership, but it's also like my life as a professional contractor where it's like I tell someone to do something and they like don't like they look like I'm still young, so they look at me like, sure,
Yeah,
dude.
sure. No, yeah, I get it in my field too, in manufacturing, because I get a lot of I want to say like around 55 and older. They come in and they're like, I tell them something, and they're like, no, 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 it has to be. I'm like, okay, sure, I'm gonna do it your way. And as soon as they leave, I'm like, I'm not doing it that way. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna give them. But no, that's home ownership. I mean, our old home was a new build, and we still had. I mean, it was Ryan home, so we had constant problems.
Yeah.
And it's funny now. We just had our heater serviced 2 days ago, and I asked the guy, I was like, the home was built in 2000, so what's the heater looking like? He goes, it's working. I was like, okay, that's not what I wanted to hear. He goes, he goes, as long as you don't have a nice cold winter, the rest of this winter and next year, you got another
What?
2 years out of it. I said, okay. He goes, but it's not going to break down on you. I was like, all right, that's all. That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, heaters are different for me, and because obviously we don't need or use them as much as you guys do, but
Hmm.
those are the workhorses out here for or like they'll just truck on forever, it seems like. It's the air conditioners and usually the water and pool stuff that is dying for us. Windows and exterior waterproofing gets poured to shred with the salt air near the beach, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It
we
almost
did.
seems like waterproofing goes before some of the mechanical systems in our homes these days.
Yeah, we had to do our the previous homeowners had when they built the house, they built the house and that was it. They lived in it, didn't do it. So it was windows, it was a lot, but
Yeah.
hey, that it kind of ties into the reading today too, which is funny. I glanced down, I was like, oh, the living is teaching. It's like you have to
Yeah.
show them your values and your rules instead of the lectures, and it's it's kinda how I am with the kids. I started, like, I don't know if you can kinda see, I didn't like the basement look anymore,
Okay.
so I started just putting, like, it's all fairing strips. It was the cheapest option available.
Yeah.
But I've had the boys helping me because it's like I use a bigger one and 2 skinnier ones. I have them pulling the stick the I don't know why they stick every they stopped printing the barcodes on the boards and started doing the stickers. So
Oh.
every board has a little sticker on it, so I have the boys pulling the stickers off, handing me the boards, and, like, just showing them it's like, yeah, we can pay someone to do the work,
Yeah.
but we can save, some money doing it ourselves, and then there's,
Oh
like,
yeah.
a little satisfaction of, like, "Ooh, look what we did," and then I was like, "Hey, guys, look, we saved about, like, $500. We can put this towards a vacation." They're like, "Okay, well, let's go
Mhm.
today." I'm like, "No, no, no, it's not the way it works."
Morning, Reverend. It's yeah, it's one of those things where you're saving the money, but you're also like it's not so much that you're spending the time, but you're gaining the time.
Mhm,
Like, because you're gaining the time doing something productive with your hands in your own home. Like there's a value to be added there. Like, I don't like working much, but like I built my closet and then my wife's closet, and she loves it. And now every time that she thinks about that closet, it's like a reminder of like her husband doing something for her. And she's complimented it even like beyond just the first time I did it. And so that's like it's a moment of pride for her and a moment of pride for me and like a
mhm.
connection point there. And then if you add your kids into that mix, um, you know, then it just, it amplifies that. And, I'm sure it for you doing it with your boys, right? So both your older ones are boys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
the baby,
like
she just
that's
kinda runs around screaming right now.
yeah, she's not quite there yet, but she'll get there. Like it's just a connection. Like, and
Mhm.
you're teaching them something that's going to be valuable and useful down the roads, which is handling tools, even if it's not like going into construction and doing anything crazy. Like, I mean, everyone, boys and girls, should all learn how to swing a hammer and use a screwdriver. Like, everyone, I think the plan is for most people to grow up and have a house, and just hanging a picture or putting a bed together or putting gifts together on Christmas Day that Santa Claus dropped off. Um, just knowing that stuff.
Hanging a picture level, yeah.
Dude,
Use 2
sometimes I
use 2
try
nails.
so hard, and then other times I'm just like, I'm just gonna get these things on the wall. Like, I don't care. Sometimes I'll do the thing where I'm like, look, we're just gonna set them offset because then
Yeah.
level doesn't matter. Like,
My wife's like, "You used 1 nail on that, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You don't always tell me you use 2 so it stays level." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't feel like grabbing a level."
yeah. I became big on the collage walls because it looks better if you like offset them and they're not like equally spaced and
Correct.
stuff like that. They're different picture frames. And like I became when my wife wanted to do that, I was like, "Oh yeah, game on. That looks
Chaos is
easy."
welcomed.
I'm like, "You could do that. Here's the hammer and nails." And like she has, and I love that. I
Mhm.
absolutely love it when she does something and I don't. Well, that's cool. So you did the ceiling down there. I've always been so curious because like my wife has family on the East Coast and then up in Wisconsin, and because of the difference between what I deal with,
Mhm.
it just always amazed me like how everyone's basement is out there. Because like like we don't have basements out here at all, like routinely, like all the older homes, like there are no basements. So all basements that we build now are like full productions. Like the basements that I build they're like $500,000 because it's
Yeah,
full height.
yeah, people go crazy. I mean, this would be like I mean, it was built in 2000, so I would say it would be like the typical height where, um, I am seeing, like, the new homes are having, like, 10-foot ceilings in their basement, which
Yeah.
is it's insane. Um, to me, it's just it was a lot there's just a lot of function for we have the home gym. I'm building a guest room down
Hmm.
here. It's kinda like I kinda put, like, a makeshift movie theater with a projector for the kids,
Nice.
um, which they don't they don't use it that I use it more than them, but it's me, it's I had the time when we first moved in, I had some of the extra funds, so it
Okay.
was, "Hey, are we just gonna keep going out? Are we gonna keep, like" we do stuff. We like to say we like I want to do adventures and stuff with the kids. I don't just buy them things. But
Hmm.
I was thinking long term, and I was like, from talking on Daily Dads, talking with you guys, I'm like, I want to be the house where all the other kids want to come. So that's why we did.
Morning, Dan.
My wife thought I was crazy when I did it, but I was like, they're gonna get older. They're gonna hit their teenage years. Their friends are gonna want to come here and play video games on the projector instead of just playing it all squeezed into like one of the kids' bedrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. My buddy here, college roommate, his family, I don't know if they built the house, but they lived in the house, and we went to his house one time. They had a sick movie room, and he and I just hung out in the movie
Yeah,
room and
the movie rooms are legit.
just
I've been to a house
just
with one of
just
those. It's
just rolled Grandma's Boy and movies like that. Like that was our jam. Revan, my this MP here, he you commented on some or you posted some scene from Grandma's Boy, like with the old ladies like stoned and laughing at the couch. And that just it like shot me right back to like the college
um,
days.
yeah,
Your
it
family
brought me
built it
right back to the
nice.
first time I saw that. I was like,
It
oh
brought me
man, I
right
remember this
back, and I
movie.
was like, yes. Just the scenes in that movie were, I don't know, I felt like they were iconic for me, dude.
Yeah, for sure. It was funny. I sent a like the same screenshot to um my college like group of friends, which we call ourselves the Goon Squad. It's hysterical. But
Yeah.
we still like we are 15 years running for fantasy football. We still have the chat. We're all have
Oh,
kids and stuff.
nice.
But it was then I think like 3 hours of Nick Swartzen just gifts going back and forth in this group of just everything like from grandma, like all of his movies. I was just like, oh man, I forgot how good of an actor he was.
So yeah, I was a big Nick Swartzen fan. Like I've seen him live because he's done comedy shows out here. And then, funny enough, like the story, the last time I saw him live, um, so my then girlfriend, but now wife, was pregnant, and I had gotten us tickets to go see his show. Um, and before pre the show, she had a problem with the pregnancy, and so she was on bed rest. And so then I switched like who I was taking. So my cousin, she came out, and she loves Nick Swartzen too and the movies. And so we went and saw it that night, hanging out, getting drunk, all that stuff. And then I had never not stayed the night in the hospital with my wife. So I still like drove to the hospital inebriated. Um, at this point, they had moved her from having her own like suite, like room, to like being in a two-person room. And they had told me like that I couldn't spend the night, but I'm very sneaky. So I was able to like get in the room anyways. Um, and I think this was like around the midnight 1 a.m. like time frame. I'm sneaking in, basically crawling into the hospital bed with my girlfriend while she's pregnant. Um, I got woken up like 3 hours later to, we're going into an emergency C-section. Your
Oh,
baby's coming today.
that's
And so that's like my like funny moment of like the original like OG first kid birth story. Like Nick Swartzen was actually somewhat involved.
yeah, nothing like throwing you right into to fatherhood when you're like least. I mean, yes, you're expecting it. She's pregnant and everything, but like
Yeah.
you weren't expecting to get woken up at 3
Yeah.
a.m. to, hey,
Yeah.
you're gonna be a dad today, and it's like,
Yeah. And so that day was, so like the Swartzen was the day before, but that day is now Bailey's birthday, but that's also my wife's birthday. So she was born on her birthday. And then at one point, when the pregnancy was all done, Bailey was in the incubator because she was born premature, all that stuff. Like they had, I had gotten the chance to see her and take some photos and stuff like that. And then from the intense night and morning of like everything that happened, I fainted and passed out.
oh,
And so all
yeah, I
three
feel
of
you.
us were admitted to the hospital on three different floors, essentially. And that's again, all because of
Yeah.
Nick Swartzen.
Yeah, that's I mean, I had a very similar, to our first child, not Nick Swartzen involved at all, but it was I think we were I think we went out with our friends, like, the night before,
Yeah.
and my wife woke me up at, like, 3 o'clock, and she's like, "I think my water broke." I'm like, "No, you're
Mhm.
34 weeks, or you're sh" I was like, "Go back to bed." I was like, "I'm going back to sleep, just call the doctor." Not like because it just didn't register, like, I'm half asleep still, I was
Yeah.
probably had some alcohol still in my system, and then, like, a half hour later, she wakes me up, she's like, "The doctor said to come in," and it was like, "We're in, baby's coming early," and it was like it was just like the doctor walks in and goes, "Oh, you're gonna be a dad," and then it was my wife's like, "Yeah, I just saw the color just, like, go." It was just like she's like and all the nurses were like, "Yep, you're gonna sit here and not move because if you fall, we're leaving you on the ground." I was like, "Cool."
Yeah, they should make like a strap, like strap you to the bed.
Yeah, but it's like some of the, like, kind of the similar thing. It's like, welcome to fatherhood, and it's I wanna
Yeah.
say that even if your wife's birth doesn't go like that, and you have it planned, everything's timed and everything, it's a lot easier, but I have a feeling that not every father has, like, that faint feeling, but it's that rush of emotions when it finally hits is like, "Oh crap, like, this is actually real."
Yeah. Yes. The first time for sure.
Mhm.
I would venture to guess. There's a lot of blood flowing, energy, adrenaline, all that stuff, and then obviously there's a crash once it's, done and happening. Like our bodies aren't doing any work, like the wives are doing it all, the doctors are doing it all, but it's at a pretty intense situation, like to be in the room and to be a part of it, and also to be the one person in the room who isn't doing anything, like
Yeah.
who is just essentially like holding the hand. Well, for me, because they were all C-sections, like I was just focused on my wife, like looking her in the eyes and making sure that she was okay, like, and then doing a little peek because blood doesn't bother me. So I wanted to see the crime scene that was going on down
Yeah, no,
below.
no, I'm not, I did not my eyes were nowhere near that. Yeah,
One, I have a funny picture. I would dig it up, but like I have a picture, like because my wife was in the first pregnancy. She's like, "Don't look." She's like, "Just keep focused on me," because she was scared. Like this was, she's 21, 22 years old.
Mhm.
Um, and I just like took a camera and just went like this, like, and I wasn't even looking. I was just like, and there's just a picture of like a foot, like a little bloody foot, like this alien was coming out of her stomach.
Yeah, it's funny, like, yeah, I definitely agree with there's definitely a crash because it's for I was actually one of my, good friends from college, she's 37 weeks pregnant, so I was
Mm,
texting her husband, I was like, "Listen, there's nothing you can do or say that is gonna help her along." I said, "All you gotta do is be there so she can see you." I said, "She
yeah,
might want you to hold her hand, she might try to punch you in the face, like, and say that you
yeah,
caused this, you're the" like, it's emotional. I would say it's emotional for the women, it's more physical for the women, than emotional. There's no physical at all for the men, it's just straight emotion, and
yeah,
I feel like after the crash comes the, "Okay, I got this," but the, "Oh shit, what am I gonna do?" Like, how am I gonna bring this kid up? What am I going what
yeah,
morals am I gonna teach them? Am I going to
yeah,
base it off of how I was brought up? Am I going to incorporate some of my wife's bringing? And it's just a lot, and then for me, it was, like, about a week of just gears constantly turning in my head is like, "How am I gonna do this? What am I gonna do with this situation? What about this situation?" And I found it just easier when I was just, like, not not you I don't wanna say using my wife as a sounding board, but, like, kind of using my wife as a sounding board was like, "Well, if this happens, what do you" and she's like, "Literally, the baby's 2 days old. Why are you thinking about this far down the road?"
yeah. But like, what are we gonna do if he wants to go to college across on the West Coast?
Yeah,
We're
I
East
guess it
Coasters.
kinda comes
Like,
from my upbringing is, like and, like, my values and what my parents taught me about, like, always being prepared, 15 minutes is
mhm,
early is late, and
yes,
where her upbringing was, I don't wanna say, like, more 15 minutes early is that's early. Being on time is early.
On time.
Yeah.
And
So
on time has a 5-minute buffer.
yeah, so it's more like it was too drastic. And I'm not saying that one way was better than the other. It's just and it just helped. And it's just funny how two drastic upbringings, morals, values, and stuff can blend. And
Yes.
we thought we had it figured out, and then we had a second child, and then we thought, and then now a third. And it's just funny how looking back, how our values have changed from the first kid to the third.
Yes. That's where like a lot of like the book that we're reading, and even like the I think it's the actual like the intro story into the journal. Like he has a couple pages on the journal that he wrote that are like an intro, and I think he mentions like the way that almost seems like the typical way that people go through this situation is that like they grab the what to expect when you're expecting book, and they like read it, and it's like the expectation is that like you're going to read all this stuff and you're going to like have some sort of a resemblance of how to do this thing, but in reality, like
In parenthood.
in reality it's there's no way to predict,
Mm-mm.
no matter how strict or how many boundaries you are, or how rigid your lifestyle is. In fact, that might make it worse. um how no way to predict what this is actually going to do to you, like parenthood, what it's going to do to you, what it's going to do to your wife, what it's going to do to your relationship, like where you're going to end up living. Like sure, you grew up in one state, but like that doesn't mean you're going to stay there. Like something could completely change and you could just be on the other side of the world. And so the point of like Ryan Holiday's point and the point of the book is like attack, like a study parenting daily and like yearly, and like don't stop. Like there's no time and point during parenting where it's going to be like, oh, I got it, like I'm locked in. Like no, because you could be locked in, but then your 6-year old all of a sudden becomes 13 and you're like, who are you?
Yep.
Like the other day we saw a photo of our neighbors across the street whom we like moved away like 5 years ago.
Hmm.
We saw a photo of one of the girls, and none of us recognized her. Like we were like, that's not the same girl that we like that was across the street from us. She looks nothing like her.
It's
And
crazy.
like that's the weird part about kids is like I mean, we were all that way too. Like you look at your baby pictures now and like you might see something in there, but it doesn't look like the same person
No. Yeah. No. It.
most of the time.
Yeah. And I always I one of I forget who said it and where I heard it, but it's just stuck with like that time is a thief, and it truly is. Um, and like you said, like we're always learning, and you're always adapting as a parent, and it's funny. What works for your one kid is not going to work for the other kid. What
Yeah.
works for like what was working for my oldest yesterday, we tried the same kind of routine this morning. He's been in his room twice for a timeout so far. So it's he just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I we had a talk and talking about how to talk to others, and you're not arguing with your brother. You can speak to him. You come to agreement. We're not just going to scream at each other.
Yeah.
Um, but it's kind of it's kind of the point that we're at with them because they're so close in age. They're 6 and 7, so it's that tough. It's the tough years plus having a younger brother that wants to be around you 24/7 and do the same things
Hmm.
makes
Yep.
it a little bit tougher for him. Um, but it's I'm trying to drive home to him because I was the younger son, so I'm trying to drive home to him. It's like your brother isn't trying to bother you. It's right now you're his best friend, so he just wants to be around you, and
Yeah.
he has fun being around you. But he's
Yep.
like, "Well, he annoys me sometimes." I get that, but you need to talk to him about it differently. We don't just
Yeah.
scream at someone, tell them to go away. We tell them, "Hey, I need some time alone."
Hmm. Yeah, I think what it is just basically simply like the growing up first.
Mhm.
Like I think you well, so like it I guess I don't know how it would trigger though if they're just 1 year apart, and I'm only 2 years apart from my next sibling down. But like, there's something about it, like where they feel, or maybe we remember like just that there was no one else around them. They always played alone, and then all of a
Y
sudden there's a kid, second born, who has known nothing different than having someone around them, and it might be that. But I agree that it's very much they look up to their older brother or sister. The older sister or brother gets to do things earlier, like can do things better than them. So it's like while they're learning to walk, the other one's already walking. And they're like looking at them like, how are you doing this? And I'm struggling at it. Okay, well,
mhm.
I'll just follow you. Like I'll just mimic you because you obviously already like understand what life is about. So like I'm good. I can't talk to these taller people because they're confusing. They drink this muddy, gross water and eat these green things and lift these heavy things. I just don't understand them. So I'm gonna attach myself to you
Yeah, and I
because
think that's kinda where we're at because it's they hit this spot in sports where our oldest moved up, and they've always so when before we moved, so all up until this current season, I've been their coach.
okay.
I've had an assistant coach with most of the sports, but I've been their coach, and my boys I don't wanna say I'm raising them old school, but we play video games maybe once, twice a month in this house,
Hmm.
um, and if we play, it's for an hour. It's they just like to be outside, um, whether it's raining, cold, they wanna go outside, they wanna play baseball, they wanna play hockey, they wanna jump on the trampoline. So I've always leaned into that. When we moved, I realized they were gonna be on different teams, so I was like, "I'm not gonna coach. I'm gonna
Two
step
teams
back, I'm gonna
or
be."
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't wanna because I was like, "I can't choose one over the other. I can't."
Hmm.
We have 3 kids. I was like, "I can't be living at a baseball field, leaving you with the baby."
Yeah.
And I kinda saw it this year with with my youngest boy, the middle. He's bored at his age level, but I
Because
don't
he's used to playing up with older kids.
he's used to playing up, he's used to playing a little bit more competitive, and he was still in T-ball this year, so it's him, like, hitting the ball all the way out to the grass and trying to run a home run. I'm like, "Buddy, you can only go one base, like, it's still T-ball, everything's right." And then
Yeah.
it's, like, the end of the game, and he's announcing the score, he's like, "Well, you guys didn't score, we got 3 outs." I'm like, "Dude, like, come on." Like, they're still teaching the game, and it was then hockey was the same thing, he's, like, scoring 3, 4 goals a game, and he's like, "Yep, I scored." He's like, "Bud, just go back and play defense. Just go back and play." So it
Yeah.
and it's I didn't wanna move him up because I didn't wanna keep them together on the same team and feel like the oldest was always had his little brother tagging along, so I think that's
Hmm.
kind of it was
Yeah,
kind of
that's
my
hard. Like with
onset
them
of
being close,
yeah, but
because it's
I
like, okay, let's say
knew
you
it was
put them on the
coming, so I
same
had to start
team.
it.
Say that again. Sorry.
I said I knew that, like, the "I don't wanna be around you" type of older brother mentality was gonna eventually come, so I
Yeah.
figured I'd just kinda rip the Band-Aid off when they were gonna get all new
Yes.
friends, all new sports teams and everything now rather than have it come a little bit later.
That makes sense. So I was gonna say like, it's also one of those like, that's like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situations. Because like
Mhm.
if you put him up on the same team, then he's challenged. He's not getting bored, but maybe his brother's a little upset. But then they're like, they know how to play with each other. So like I imagine they're really good as a duo. But then you still have to deal with the older one maybe not having as good of a time. And then if you separate them and you put them on two different teams, like you still can't coach, right? But then there's rivalry. Then there's
Yeah.
like they're fighting, they're like when they're on game time against each other, they're like in the house like talking smack to each other.
So
Like,
that's what we're
like
coming up on this season.
it's a little bit of a
You're
stressful
moving up
situation.
now,
Like,
so I'm like, "Oh boy."
good morning, Mama Bear. Um, you know, I don't know. It's like we were talking about, and the whole reason for the show, the book, for having a group chat of dads, a group chat of moms, for like having these little get-togethers and finding your people to talk to is like it's an impossible job.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it alone. Like if you don't have grandparents or babysitters or, you know, a spouse that is a stay-at-home parent, there's just no it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I guess you can do it alone. People do it alone, but man,
I mean, it's not easy, and I amend those that do it alone because it the old mentality, "It takes a village," like, it truly does,
yeah.
and it's funny because I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it takes a village, okay, whatever," like, it's usually my wife, me, my brother, my parents, my in-laws, that it's like, who's really watching or taking over? My cousin every once in a while will watch his godson.
Mhm.
But then I step back and, like, when we have one of the kids' birthday parties and there's 50 kids, 50, or not kids, but 50 people running around, like, we were just at Dave& and Buster's, and I turned to my wife, I was like, "Where's our kids?" And she's like, "Oh, they're with one of the school friends' parents." I'm like, "Well, that I guess it truly does take a village because I had no idea
Yeah.
where my kids were at." Like, I knew they weren't
Yeah.
leaving the building, but it's just there was so much going on, so many moving parts, I'm trying to do and I was just like, "Where did they go?"
Like the whole reason that that happened is because you guys have built that village,
Mhm.
like, or nurtured that village, and then both of you felt comfortable enough to take your eye off the kids in a crowded public area because you knew you were there with 25, 30 other adults that all
Yeah.
had your back, or
Yep.
at least the kids had friends, and kids in groups are relatively safe in a place like that.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
one door in,
they
one
know
door
where
out
the
to the center.
party tables are at, so if anything happens to them, they know where to go back to.
Yeah, we're making a big step today. Our middle's doing a usually when we do, like, play dates and, like, get-togethers with their friends, it's at a movie theater, at one of those play places or park or
Mhm.
something. He's getting dropped off at his friend's house for a couple hours and then picked up later, and
Nice. How old again? The middle one?
he's 6, he just turned
Okay.
6. So
Yeah.
he's still at that he can do it, but he's still at that emotional stage where as I told my wife, I was like, you might wanna just do something in the area for, like, an hour or 2 just in case."
Yeah, we haven't done that yet with a friend from school with Bentley. With our friend group, like the people that we hang out with and travel with, yes. But yeah, not with school. And it's getting close. He's asked for us to write notes, like mommy's phone number, and give it to his friends at school, like to schedule play dates and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I think we're striking out still on that with him and friends. So I don't know what's going on. But we just dealt we're dealing with a situation right now with our oldest, our 17-year-old, and Amy and I were racking our brains the other day because basically Bailey wanted to go to the mall one day, which she's done a bunch of times. So we sent her off with her friend Sam, she's 18, she drives, she's painting our house. Like we got to know her, like we trust her. And then Bailey comes back, and this was like on a Wednesday, I think, when they went to the mall this Wednesday. And she goes, so then Thursday she comes back to mom and she's like, "Hey, can I have a sleepover at so and so's house?" And or all the girls are gonna have a sleepover at so and so's house. And mom's like, "Who is so and so?" And so it was like a weird thing where it was like they went to the mall with this other friend from school, and that friend stepsister was there, who's homeschooled, so Bailey doesn't know her. And then that homeschooled stepsister had a friend of hers that was there, who's also homeschooled, and they were all going to go spend the night at that girl's house. And it was the first time Bailey and Sam had met those girls, like other than the one who Bailey goes to school with. It's the first time they'd met the other girls,
Mhm.
and no one had been to their house or met their parents. So Amy and I were like, no, like, but like at the same time, we're like, she's 17. Like next year, she
Yeah.
moves out. Who knows what she's gonna do or spend the night at? But we were like, no, but they can all spend the night at our house. So then we're gearing up to have, four other teenage girls at our house. And then I get home from, I don't know where I was, picking Brooklyn up from school or something. And I'm like, is the sleepover happening? And she's like, no, the other girl's parents didn't want to allow it until they met us. And I was like, yes, vindication. Like the other parents felt the exact same way. So now they set up to, the parents are going to take the kids and Amy's going to take Bailey to go bowling today so that they can meet. And I'm
Okay.
like, see, that's what we were talking about. But like it seriously felt awkward at one point.
Yeah, and, like,
Um,
I don't wanna throw, like, not awkward or fishy or anything, but it's like
it
something's a
did
little off,
sound
and it's
it did sound fishy.
yeah, you did the right thing, and then, I mean, clearly it's
Like we're the relaxed family, like you said, like we want people to come over here. Our doors are open all the time.
mhm,
Like I picked Brooklyn up from school and I'm like, hey, I'm in the parking lot, and she called me and she's like, Dad, my friend come over, or can you take my friend home? And by the way, we want to wait and wait for the ice cream man to get some ice cream. And then as she jumps in the car, her friend is calling her parents to ask if she can come over for a couple hours. And like that's how it happened. Like that, Brooklyn didn't ask me, but we've told the kids like your friends can come over whenever, like
mhm.
especially your friends that you know from school, but like random people that you meet in the mall. I mean, not random, but like semi-random.
Yeah,
It
but
was
I mean,
weird.
it's you guys were able to navigate it at least how I mean, kinda
My
how I
wife's
would
gonna be
approach it. I
so
would've been like
awkward though.
yeah. I've been like, "No, not until I meet, like, the parents or find out a little bit information about" but it kinda is like I don't wanna
First
say
name,
I
last
was
name, social security number.
yeah, I don't wanna say, like, I was there at that age, but, like, kind of, it's like my friends would ask me to do something and be like, "Oh, we're to come in," and I'm like, my parent my dad was very trial by fi I don't wanna say trial by fire, but, like, learn by your mistakes type of thing, but, like, you're not gonna screw up, you're not gonna break the rules, but, like, if you do screw up, where we're gonna go. My mom was very much on the stricter side, so
Okay.
it's like, when my friends be like, "Oh, it's a Friday, let's go hang," I'm like, no, let's go to your house and it's I kind of like that's where I was kinda getting, like, it was kinda seemed fishy, but kinda like, "Oh, well, my parents are a little strict, and they only are letting me have a sleepover at my house, so that's why it has to be there."
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not saying from you, from, like, the friend that was wanted to have the sleepover, but she might have been just, like, a little bit more embarrassed to, like, say that my parents were strict.
Hmm. Yep.
So it's kinda it's a hard and that's a hard age to navigate, and that's not what I'm looking forward is to. It's like, are these kids just trying to not be embarrassed, or are they trying to hide that they're
Yeah.
17 turning 18 and becoming adults?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I know from Bailey's side that, like we were talking about earlier, like the being bothered by younger siblings. Whenever the girls bring friends over, like Bentley is a lot. Like he is very much like loud and crazy and like demanding of attention from
Mhm,
them. In fact, like he yesterday when Brooklyn had her friend over, like I had to tell him a number of times to like take a break, leave the girls alone because they were downstairs. It's not like they locked themselves in their room. And then he went and got a haircut because he's been needing a haircut. And when he came back in, like, so when he left to get the haircut, Brooklyn's friend was here. When he came back from the haircut, she was gone. And he got sad that because he wanted to show her his haircut. And he was like, Brooklyn, can you take a picture and send it to your friend? And Brooklyn was like, no, because she was a little upset with him that like
mhm.
he was being very bothersome. And he got real upset. Like, and it's just like, dude, like I want to tell him, like, dude, get your own friends. But like at the same time, like you're talking about with your middle, he's 6. Like we're in that awkward stage where like he has friends at school, but like it hasn't crossed the bridge to like play dates and sleepovers or and anything like that.
Mhm.
Because we're not able to or to know, like it's hard to know the friends that he has, that they're actually like they're his friends, and then to know the parents and get to know the parents and like make that connection so that the parents will trust their 6-year-old kid to come over to our house and they've
Yeah.
never met us. It's
Yeah,
almost like we had to throw a party and we had to invite them all over, and then like that's the way to do it. And his birthday is coming up, so we are working on that.
yeah, it's kind of I told my wife I would change in 2026 because we always did like the, "Hey, you can have your school friends, we can have a couple of your, like, sports friends and stuff, but we're gonna do family party," and the last couple ones have been like school friends and stuff, and we've been doing the school events, and I my wife's like, "Well, we're not going anywhere. I like the girl group that she's like, "You need to get out of your bubble, and you need to actually start interacting with some of these parents." And I was like,
Good,
"Yeah,
honey.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
understand
whatever."
how
Like,
big my online bubble is, though?
yeah. Well, I was like, I have a ton, like, I don't want, like, thousands and thousands, like, I have really good close friends, like, I don't need to make, and she's like, "It's not about you, it's about them
Yeah,
trusting us so our kids can play together." And I was like, "Oh, okay,
very
did
true.
not even see it like that, but now, like, I completely understand what you're saying."
Yeah, it's very true, and it's a semi like difficult dynamic to like understand and break into because,
Mhm,
like you said, like you get to your 40s and your 30s, 40s, and you're like, I have friends, like I have people, like I have work, I have employees, I have like all this stuff. Like I don't want to make new friends, but like what your wife is saying is correct. Like it's for your kids
mhm,
because in the same dynamic that we're talking about, like your kids can't have a play date until you meet their parents, like when they're a certain age.
yeah,
It becomes awkward. Like I've had a couple of awkward encounters where someone has come to drop off a kid and they've wanted to come to the door and meet us. And because I've never met them before, it can be awkward that it's how much of that conversation we have to have with them, like before they just let their kid come. And it's not, and for me on our side, it's like there's nothing nefarious going on here. I just want my kids to be able to have a friend over in their environment of their home
mhm.
instead of at school. Like school's awkward, like to nurture a friendship. Like it's the after school stuff where you can kind of actually have fun. Good morning, Katie.
Yeah, and I mean, it is awkward, those, because you could have, like, we haven't gotten there yet, but you could have that parent that shows up and wants to hang out for 15 minutes, chat with you as they are, and then we'll bounce. Or you could also have that parent that rolls up and it's like a tuck and roll situation. The kid rolls out of the car and you don't even meet the parent, and then you're
I've had
in the
both
back
of
of your
those.
mind the whole time. You're like, what's going on? Like, why? Like, is it something we did as a family? Is it something they're like?
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it's gonna be a hard road to navigate, and
I've
that's
had
why
I've
I'm
had
glad
the
we have
tuck
this.
and roll. I've had the like 5-minute conversation on the front porch. I've had 15-minute conversation giving a tour of the house, and I've had someone's come in and stay the entire play date. And like the last one is probably like the most awkward one because
Mhm.
if you don't know the person, like now you're stuck
Yeah.
two grown adults like maintaining a conversation for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it can get, I feel you, it can get very that could get
And
very
I'm
awkward.
awkward in person, people. Those of you that have met me in person, you know that. Like I'm not that person. Teacher Katie knows that.
Yeah, that
She
small
knows
talk,
that.
you got me for, like, 3, 4 minutes, and then, my mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
catches my eye, and I'm sitting there going, "Uh-huh, uh-huh," I'm kinda paying attention.
But thankfully, my wife is not as awkward in person. So
No. Yeah,
those
that's
the one moment that I can think of, one or two that happened, it was more on her than it was on me. Thankfully.
yeah, luckily,
Um,
I feel you. My wife definitely picks up my, antisocialness. She's definitely that social butterfly that picks up the balance when we do all that stuff.
what's funny is over the years, I think my wife has actually assumed a little bit more of my antisocial behavior. And I've assumed some social behavior, but yeah, it's weird how you were talking about before, like the way that your two family dynamics blend.
Mhm.
You do blend your personalities a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. And I think it's you're always challenging each other.
Yep.
Yep, opposites do attract. I agree. And I feel like you and your partner are always challenging each other, and then it's you throw kids into the mix, and it's kinda like you're kind of forced to. You
Yes.
don't really have a choice but to, "Hey, this worked for me. Oh, well, that's okay. They're only half you, they're half me. It's not gonna work
Mhm.
for them." So you kinda have to, like, change and adapt, and, like, that's kinda what I'm always like, I don't know if I've said it to, I think I put it on one of your fitness posts, like, adapt and overcome, like, you just it
Mhm.
not everything's gonna go according to plan, so it's how you
Oh
adjust
yeah.
to that.
Thank you, Papa Bear. Um, yeah, 100. I mean, like we said, no right way, no wrong way.
Mm-mm.
Always different every day. Different kids, different cultures, different everything. But at the end of the day, that's why we come together and learn a little bit more. Like we had David on yesterday, and I was, I'm always intrigued by him and the dynamic he has with his older kids. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I love seeing it, reading his wisdom in the chat and everything when he pops in. It's always good to get the perspective from someone like in the same circle, but that has definitely kids much older than yours.
Yeah, teacher Katie's another one. I think she has one girl in college, and I think another, um, well, that was on her way to college, but might already be there. I honestly, we haven't caught up in a while, so but she's got older girls as well, so she would be another one. But
Oh yeah.
she's always off in the coffee with Captain spaces. I know. That's where she is. That's her ride or die space in the mornings. That's her morning coffee. But yeah, thank you for coming up, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
chatting
yeah.
with me.
Yeah, the
Always
kids
fun.
were they were being very quiet this morning, and then as soon as I come down here, I hear the footsteps running. So
Oh,
they're
really?
oh yeah, they've been the new game is chasing their sister around.
How's your podcast going?
It's going good. I got another one on Sunday. I have my first guest coming on.
Okay.
Um, so I've been running that one, and then me and my brother have been running like a NFL sports one.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we
I
did
was just gonna say, I swear I've seen two different ones. So
Yeah, yeah. So we've been doing the Sunday Blitz for all football season, and it was crazy how fast that the season actually went. But now we're doing like playoffs, and we'll have some special episodes here in the off season, but there's not too much to
yeah.
cover. But yeah, football's our bread and butter. I mean, I live and die sports, but football's
Is this something you guys just started this season, or have you done it previously?
we just started this season. It's
Okay.
funny enough, like our friend group um has always reached out to us, like our cousins and stuff, because we're constantly winning our fantasy leagues, making money on like our bets and stuff. So we decided we're like, instead of just texting this out to everybody and telling them like every week who you should pick, I was like, let's just put it
Hmm.
on it. So we started
Yeah.
that, and then he's been hounding me to start to keep up with the Faith and Iron stuff. So I finally
Gotcha.
had my first one after the new year, and
How's
then
that going?
it's going good. It's definitely hard to navigate a podcast by yourself for over 30 minutes.
Mm.
Um,
Hmm.
the first one I don't wanna say I threw it together last minute, but it was not as much prep. The second one went a lot better because I had some notes, I had prepped, I pretty much written a script for that one.
Good.
Um, Sundays is gonna be interesting because I
Do you
kinda do
do any of those live, or are you just recording them and putting them out?
so I do them live.
Okay.
It's usually gonna be around, like, Sundays around 1, um, until football season starts until normal football season starts back up again. Playoffs, I don't really care because I know the games are gonna switch away from 1 o'clock. Um, but
And
yeah,
so
I
is
do
the
it live
live
and then
on Blaze, or is it on Twitch, or both?
it's on Blaze, but I don't put it on Twitch because if I stream it too much, it kicks me out. So
Mm.
I
Okay.
put it on Blaze and on X, but it saves on my Blaze, which it's in my X profile. It should be
Yep.
the link to my power. The link to my Blaze, and it auto saves to them.
I kind of like this lighting though, dude. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I've been messing. Yeah, I don't know what I got these like daisy train lights that like plug into each other, and I guess I plug too many.
Well, good stuff, man. I mean, it looks cool, so I will have to check it out. I don't. I think at some point, and I think it would be better suited with Ryan involved, because I believe he was asking about it the other day with you and another guy,
Mhm.
um, about learning more about Blaze and what it is.
Yeah, yeah, it was my brother. Yeah,
Okay.
we have to get you guys over to it because it'll work very well for you. It's pretty much creator ran. There's
Hmm.
backstage voting and passes and stuff, and it's pretty much the tension and pretty much where you're gonna be seen on the stream is gonna pretty much be on, like, the backstage voting. You'll get bumped up a little bit higher, but there's no bots. There's a I think it's 25,000 a month revenue pool. So based off of your, like, subscriptions, your follows, and stuff like that, then that just goes right back to the creator instead of having, like, to hit these benchmarks and stuff that
Hmm.
some of the other ones create.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to leave it to Ryan because he started all of this and is handling it and has the accounts and all that stuff, and he pays for everything and then we reimburse him. So I'll I'm hoping that he gets some more time with you and your brother and whoever else to like have a chat.
Yeah.
Um,
Once we get him set up, it's if he runs it through or you guys run it through OBS or one other, it's like a click of the button. It's honestly, I'm not technical. My brother had to
yeah,
run me through it, and it took me like 5 minutes to set up.
gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, thank you again
Yeah.
for coming on. Enjoy your weekend. Appreciate everybody in the chat. All that jazz.
Yeah, have a good one. Thanks for having
Most
me.
likely no Sunday show, but can't control my brain. I mean, I can, but like, is what it
Dom will be
is.
up at 3 a.m. tomorrow.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody, have a great weekend, and we will see you either tomorrow or Monday. Most likely Monday. See you, buddy. Thank you.